Give you some context real quick. Because this is the funniest thing I've ever indulged with. Most podcasters think that uploading their episode is enough to grow their brand. But what they fail to realize is that's only 10% of the equation. You see, the truth is, if you're not promoting your podcast like it's a product on the right platform, in the right format, to the right people, then you're not building a brand. You're just publishing audio files into a void. I'm Anthony Porter, ex-construction guy, turned CEO of a thriving podcast and coaching business. Now, fast forward past my many failed attempts and lessons learned, and you will see the business I have today. One that changes lives and gives me more freedom than I ever could think that would be possible. One that I only used to sit on my job sites and only daydream about. Now, see, I created the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast to give solopreneurs a simple yet actionable step-by-step strategic plan to help them do the same. If you're an ambitious entrepreneur, solopreneur, or one of the above mentioned in the making, who's looking to create a business that makes an impact in a life that they love or you love, you're in the right place. Buckle up, my friend. Let's get into it. Hey, what up, solopreneurs? Welcome back to the Solopreneur Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Anthony Porter. Now, today, we're diving in. And I know I say this every episode. We're diving in. We're diving in. We're going deep, deeper than Atlantis, into something that every podcaster needs to think about. Because guess what? Some of us, myself included, when I started, we're doing it the wrong way. And most of us who never changed completely got it all wrong. So you got to promote your podcast brand on social media. Now, there's a ton of people out there that will say, you don't need to promote on social media. I beg to differ. Social media is a waste of time. I beg to differ. You got industry heads to tell you, social media is not where it's at. Why not? Promoting your brand on social media is the best way, free, organic traffic, to let people know who you are, what you do, and why they should want to mess with you. Now, here's why this is so important. Because you have to look at the whole landscape. You have to look at your podcast as a brand, right? Not a product, but a brand. You want people to know exactly who you are. See, because it's more than just a logo. You want people to know exactly who you are. So if you really want to think about branding, I'm going to give you 3 of the music industry's biggest brands. All right. We'll give you 3 of them. When you talk about branding, and before we get to that, the reason why you want to brand is because you want to have that following that's a ride or die. If you have a product, you want to have that following that at the drop of a dime, if you drop, say like you start building your following and you've had $27 products here, $17 products here, and then you start talking about, hey, I got this $97 mastermind class. And all of a sudden you got maybe 10,000 people following you. Of that 10,000, you might get 200. But you got to do the math. 10,000. Here, we'll pop it out right now. So we're going to pop open the header. We're going to go to the calculator. So if I got 10,000 people and 200 people buy at $97, that's $19,400 that you made in one night. Selling a $97 product to 200 people. Now imagine if you do that 4 times. So you do that twice, 3, 4 times a month, every weekend for a month. That's 77 grand. You got 77,000 that you just made. You take 20%. Let's go 25% because you don't want to be that person that fails your taxes. So again, let's go 200 multiplied by 97. And then you want to take and multiply that by 4. It gives you 77,600, right? And then you want to multiply that by 25%. So you're going to take out $19,400 to pay your taxes. The rest of that is profit. 1,000 from 77. You take that all day, right? So if you do that for 6 months, you made $1 million. All you need is 200 people. And I know it sounds crazy when I say all you need is 200 people. But really, in reality, that's all you need. So when you think about people who do things like that, you got to think about 3 of the industry. And it's actually 4. Because I did some research and I forgot about the 4th one. So you got to think about this. You got the Beehive. You have the Swifties. You have the Barbs, which is Nicki Minaj. And then you got Cardi B. Here's why that's so important that you understand the context of those 4 individuals. First of all, they're 4 of the biggest names in artistry right now. Rihanna is doing her stuff with Fenty, right? Okay. But you have a cult-like following with all four of these young women. One thing you will not do with them is you will not talk about any one of them. They're going to come for you. We just going to keep it all the way 100. They're going to come for you. So when you sit there and you think about it, see, a couple years ago in my city, see, I'm from Louisville, they came, there was a concert here. Beyonce came. When I tell you, now, at that time I'm driving, I'm riding around the city, and I pull up to where the venue's at, and it's packed. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Concert will start to 7, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. People's already in line. I'm just curious. So I asked one of them, where you from? I'm from jolly old England, mate. England? Hold up. You came to this concert from England? Yeah. Okay, shout out to you, my guy. Welcome to the city, you know. Where y'all from? Hey, good people's over. Yeah. Where y'all from? We're from good old Texas. I said, damn. It took me about an hour. Like, I'm at work. I'm on lunch. It took me about an hour before I even found somebody that was from the city. Everybody else was from out of town. The Beehive had orchestrated the meet and greet in Louisville. And they showed up and they showed out. Fast forward, Taylor Swift schedules her concert. Swiftie sold that concert out in 22 minutes. 22. Now, Cardi gang, I'm gonna tell you, boy, I love watching Cardi B because she be funny. Cardi B is funny as hell. Even when she's serious, she's funny as hell. All right. But her clique, man, shout out to her girl. She went after Cardi. She made some statements about Cardi online. Let's just say, shorty, you need to still pay up at Breed. I ain't saying your name, but the folk know who you are. All right. And then we can't forget about the barbs. Oh my God, for the longest, man, I used to hear, what the hell is the barbs? Like, what is the barb? At that time, I was listening to Nicki, but I wasn't paying attention to what was going on outside of Nicki. You know what I'm saying? I knew that Nicki was a dope female artist. Okay. I hated to see them try to pit her and Cardi together. I would have loved to see them get down on a track. I'd have loved to see them live on tour. I'd have loved to see them do a whole lot of stuff. But when you talk about the barbs, yeah, they bout their life too. So we're talking about all of this was through social media. So you mean to tell me that somebody who's smarter than these people, when you understand that what you're dealing with is can be and will be a problem. But what you want to have is you want to have that following. You want to tell that story. You want to connect emotionally through them. Because see, for me, how I got into podcasting and how I got into business coaching, nobody wanted to help a person who was dyslexic. They thought that because I had a learning disability that I was slow. See, I wasn't one of those kids that's going to tell you that I didn't have nothing. I had my mother, I had my grandparents, I had the neighborhood. What I had was I had the family. The families around in my neighborhood. As I got older, the streets called because I seen other people doing it. I ain't want to work. But then I got smart. Like, I was a hustler, but my hustler style was a little different than everybody else. See, everybody else wanted to stand on the corner 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I had a job. I hustled, did my job. Guess what I did? Your boy hustled from 4:30 to 8:30 like it was a part-time job. I made his bread, went in the crib, went to bed. Everybody else who be out 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, half of them got locked up. I couldn't, no. But that lifestyle only can lead to what? In jail or dead. So I chose to try to be an entrepreneur back then. Lemonade stands, cut grass. Once I got to the point that I started seeing, like in 2015, the older I got, and I'm looking at these young cats making all this money, I'm like, I'm about to retire. That'll pay for all the bills at the house. I need to have money to travel, so I ain't got to worry about nothing. How do I do that? Got into digital marketing. I started an e-com store. There was just things that I did that I needed to do that made sense to me. Fast forward 2017, started my first podcast, Flop Like Hell. Flop. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. Then I came across a podcast on YouTube. I was heavy into YouTube. And I found Pat Flynn. And one thing that I did is I studied Pat Flynn. And then somehow or another, I came across, at the time, it was about me doing music. It was about me making beats. I was trying to be a beat maker, producer, whatever. I was spending money on BeatStars. I was spending money on output, things like that. Like, I was an entrepreneur. So I found this guy online named Gabe Schilling, and he taught me how to sell beats online. But that changed my whole perspective because selling beats was fine. It was the marketing aspect that I didn't understand. And once I understood that, I don't need to sell beats. I'm going over here and learn this digital marketing thing. Because now I'm seeing guys who who are making, God, them figures a year. Some close to six figures a month. I'm seeing people making 15K, 20K, 30K a month. I'm like, I need that. COVID hit. I got depressed. Now we back. The podcast is popping. And listen, you just got to be able to connect with people emotionally through exactly what it is. Storytelling. Now, number 4, we got to talk about number 4. You got to engage more than the post, man. Like, so a lot of people, when you post, they just post and let shit go. No, post. Like your own post. I'm going to give you some free game real quick. Like your own post. Comment on your own post because that helps the algorithm see, okay, the post is not just sitting there. But look at some of your competitors and go to a post that they just made. Look at their most recent post. Don't like their stuff. See the most recent comments. And when you see the most recent comments, you go in there and you find a comment that you like. And you reply to that comment, not with an emoji. No, he ain't doing that emoji shit.